Hey everybody, Gina Virginia Casella here. Please let me know in the comments if you can hear me. I'm just typing that in now. Can you hear? Oops, spelling it wrong. Can you hear me? Please let me know. I was live for about a good 10 minutes there chatting away, and then somebody brought it to my attention that I wasn't, that you couldn't hear me. So please let me know if you can hear me. I would really appreciate that. Um, there were a number of folks who were tuning in live. I resent a message on Buy Me a Coffee. Let's just make sure that you can hear me. Okay, so um, I sh- okay, you can hear me. You can hear me. I can. Okay, I feel good now. Okay, it's always kind of awkward if you're not sure if people can hear you or not. Okay, so a big welcome to you. I'm going to rock the double chin because I need to use my keyboard here. So thank you so much, all of you, for your patience. I know when I look forward to something that's scheduled and there's no sound, so I really appreciate those of you who are retuning in. Thank you so much. Those of you not familiar with me, my name is Gina Virginia Casella. Hi, Scaredy Scarecrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's a great day to learn all the FYIs because I need your support. I would like to host a conference. I've got a bunch of slides to show you, which I have to re-upload now because I had to restart this, but that's okay. And this is exactly why I need your help. So I'm looking for a Dragon Dreams Executive Committee. That is a priority. And I'm also going to require a subcommittee. Those of you who don't have experience with committee meetings, don't worry about the language. We're not going to be overly strict with rules of order or anything like that. The main Dragon Dreams executive committee is going to help me plan and carry out the conference. Now, basically, it's already planned. It's just a matter of making some phone calls, helping me create some Canva advertisements, that kind of stuff. But I'd also like the committee to help me interview people and really help promote the conference. The subcommittee, that's going to be people who want to get involved, but you don't want a lot of workload, but I still need you to commit to whatever workload you are willing to take on. It could be something simple like creating a Canva poster. It all depends on the Dragon Dreams Executive Committee. So um, that's the priority. And if you're ready and excited to buy a conference ticket right now, I don't even have that information for you, but I can start organizing that. There's been a handful of folks who have expressed an interest in being a presenter, interest in being on the executive committee. So I got really excited, and that's why I came on live today. I said, you know what, I'm going to go on live tomorrow at 11, so check out my video. I've got some slides to show you, which are included in my Buy Me a Coffee post that I made. Everything on these slides are tentative, but for what it's worth, very well could unfold. So I don't want to worry about money. I don't want to worry about resources and that kind of stuff, because if there's one thing that I can be certain about, and I'm quite certain of my uncertainty, by the way, is that when you get a bunch of folks together who are passion driven, then anything is possible, right? Anything is possible. So if you're excited to buy a ticket, you're on hold for that, but stay tuned. The best case scenario is for you to follow me on Buy Me a Coffee. It's free to follow me. If you want to donate, fantastic, but it is free to follow me on Buy Me a Coffee. So I send out emails all the time, so you never have to worry about missing a thing. My YouTube, right here, right now, I want to lovingly invite you to hit the subscribe button and to set the notifications. That way, in this exact kind of situation where, I have to restart, it's just you get the notification, right? And if for some reason you're busy or whatever, it's handy to have the notification because then it just reminds you and you can watch the replay later on or whatever. So I personally have benefited by hitting the notifications and have also benefited by subscribing to various platforms like Buy Me a Coffee, especially for the email communication. It's just something that you default to. And again, it's free. So this presentation that I'm about to do, unfortunately, I have to reload every single slide, but it's really not a problem. I tend to get ahead of myself. I made notes, but I tend to throw the notes away. Um, I would like to host 5 conferences a year. This year's going to be the first one. So there's going to be one in the spring. There's going to be one each season, but the first one this spring is really imperative because it's going to be setting the tone. It's going to be the first one ever. And it's important that as many people as possible know about it, because if we can get the word out and the interest, we can start advertising the summer conference. And then I can start, calling hotels and restaurants. I already have a number in mind. And a whole agenda figured out for the summer. So I'm really excited. And so if you're interested in attending the conference because you're interested in conscious evolution, the re-education and the continuum of education about our species, I've got one of my slides has all kinds of examples of content that I'm looking for. So if you're just interested to tune in, please keep tuning in. Love to have you here. If you're interested in being on the Dragon Dreams Executive Committee or the Dragon Dreams subcommittees, then this presentation is targeted for you. And this presentation is also a call out for presenters, vendors, virtual vendors for the spring conference, and then just getting again the word out for the summer conference. For the summer conference, I thought it would be really cool to come to Canada. There's always a lot of hype in the US about this kind of stuff. And personally, as a Canadian, I have seen events like this around. They always kind of get mixed up with movie scenes. And I want this to be really rooted in story species, story medicine. Canada, the location will probably be in London, Ontario. This is for the summer. And London, Ontario is about 2.5 hours away from Niagara Falls. London, Ontario also has one of those small manageable airports. And so I feel like it might be ideal for us to nestle ourselves in or around the city of London, Ontario. Again, this is all tentative information. This is to get the buzz out. All right, so let me pull up my slides here. Like I said, I got to pull everything up again. StreamYard is pretty user-friendly. Okay, the first thing I want to show you is the schedule. Adding it to the stage, there it is. And these slides that I'm going to show you, heads up, they have spelling mistakes, and that's exactly why I need your help. I need somebody to, review the grammar, make sure it's okay, things like colors, information, making sure it's simplified. So if you notice any spelling errors throughout these slides, don't worry about it. And if you're interested in having a closer look at these slides, please visit my Buy Me a Coffee because they're in there. So these are the tentative intentions. I'm going to read through all of this. So it's for 2026, Saturday, March 14th, Promise of Spring. It's going to be online, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. There won't be any lunch breaks. I'd like to have 20-minute breaks, and I'd like there to be entertainment in between. Before the morning starts, I have an agenda figured out. There's going to be vendors. I'll get there. How about that? I'm just feeling excited. Don't worry, vendors. I got a slide that talks about that. So, Promise of Spring. I love how that sounds. March 14th, and it's going to be online. The second one is going to be June 13th. Again, it's a Saturday, and it's called Sea Turtle: The Lost Years. This will also be online, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then Saturday is going to be a 3-day event, July 10th, 11th, and 12th. So um, I need to double check that. That's the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, July 10th, 11th, and 12th, and it's called Summer Days. Hi, Anchor Haven Element. Glad you're able to join us today with Scaredy Crow in the chat. The conference that's going to be in person that I'm aiming for would be from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I wouldn't mind starting at 8 a.m. You know, people come in, there's music playing, the vendors are there. It's an opportunity to connect, have, some coffee, water, tea. I would also like to have special events at nighttime. Basically, we hang out together all day long, and I'd like to rent a bus or something like that. So we all just stay together going from point A to point B. And there's a really great buffet restaurant I'd like to take everybody to. Um, it's one of those restaurants that they have all kinds of variety. So we can even go to the same restaurant all 3 nights and have a completely different dinner each night, Again, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm excited about the summer conference because um, it very well could be right here in London, Ontario. And London, Ontario, like I said, has one of those airports that's small, it's manageable. Niagara Falls is about 2.5 hours away. Here in Canada, I mean, you got to be careful, stranger danger everywhere, right? Here in Canada, cannabis is legalized now. Canada is LGBTQ2 plus spirited. And I feel like that's really worth highlighting, especially because the conference is rooted in story species, story medicine, and bringing community together. And these days, it's like people worry about that kind of stuff, especially when they're traveling. And so I want you to know with certainty that LGBTQ2 plus spirited very much welcomed in Canada. Gay marriage is legal here. Transgenders, all that stuff. I was a public school teacher. I mean, it's not perfect here, but we're in that direction. So I really want folks out there to know that. And also cannabis, because people are not sure about that kind of stuff. There's restaurants here in London, Ontario as well and bakeries that are specializing more and more in vegan cuisine and just environmentally eco-friendly products. And so there's much, much to be said. I want everybody to come here and try the maple whiskey, try one of my favorite beers, Coors Light. We have so much to offer here, and I can't wait. So that's what I'm aiming for. So the priority is the March conference and the June conference, all in the name of making sure the July conference is a go. The real big one is going to be March 14th, because right after that conference, I want to get busy booking hotels and that kind of stuff. So Saturday, September 19th, North Wind, Strongest Wind. It's going to be online, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday, December 12th, Season of Dreams. That's also going to be 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And why am I doing this? Well, I'm doing it because, like I said, I want to bring community together, all in the name of conscious evolution. I know there wasn't a lot of folks for me to fall back on when I was a kid talking about the ghosts and stuff like that. Um, Again, this video is targeted for the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe executive committee. So I don't want to spend too much time explaining who I am and what my services present. I feel like I'm kind of slipping into that a little bit. But this is for people who already know who I am. If you're not familiar with who I am, check out my website, GinaVirginiaCasella.com. So I wrote 8 books, and I've got a suitcase more. And initially it was about me and my shitty time and the spiritual awakening I was having. And very quickly, I realized this is actually about all of us. It's about hopes and dreams. It's about bridging your waking life with your dream life. If you're not familiar, check it out, okay? So I want to make a movie based on my books, which basically is about all of us. And at the end of each month, the last Friday of the month, I'm going live to fundraise money. And so all money raised is going towards the making of the movie series. And that money is also going to be helping to fund the conference. So all of my content goes together. I also recently published the Dragon Dreams Oracle. It's not available for purchase yet. I just have to edit some things on there. And then I'll be sure to let you know the link so that you can purchase it. And Julia is commenting that she's waiting for a train. So I'm glad that you're hanging out with us, Julia, while you're waiting for the train. Hopefully you won't be waiting too much longer. So in a nutshell, that's what's going on. I'm taking all of my content and now I'm transforming it into movies and conferences, and it's all in the name of us getting together. Why are we getting together? Because in my dream life, that's what we do. And I'm bridging the dream life with the waking life. So I have to pull up another slide here. Let me just do that. Thankfully, I numbered the slides. Okay, slide number 2. Where are you? All right. Add to stage. So yes, I need your help. I need an executive committee and a subcommittee. The subcommittee, again, helps the executive committee. I am in need of presenters. I've had multiple people reach out to me, and entertainers. I would love to have entertainers. We're going to be having 20-minute breaks in between the presentations. And I have a structure that must be honored. Okay, same with presenters. I like having a structure. I want to make sure everybody has their turn, nobody's going into overtime. And I want to make sure that the audience has healthy expectations too of start time and end times, break times, and things like that, making sure that we're staying hydrated. And I want to honor reality as well in case there are tech delays, that those are very quickly taken care of. And that's why the schedule is rigid. So those of you who know me know I love to slip into timelessness, but when I'm doing something like this, and this is my first time doing it in a different lens and on my own leading the way, the last thing I want to worry about is technology. And the last thing I want to worry about is people getting stressed out because, it's like half an hour, 45 minutes, somebody's still talking and, that's their time to present, right? So that kind of stuff is very important to me. So I need your help. And then I also require some virtual vendors. There will be a fee required for virtual vendors because essentially I'm going to be giving up my personal time and space promoting you and or the Dragon Dreams Executive Committee. And you're going to be getting in on our airtime. I will be charging money for people to watch the conference online. It will be affordable, but you get to get in on that. And I do have more details. The entertainers and the presenters and the executive, I'm not asking them for any fees. The entertainers, I feel, well, they're entertaining us, so I'm not going to ask them to charge us any money, but I would be more than happy to um, uh, promote the entertainer a little bit. I do have more details. Why don't we just get to that? So let me go to slide number 3. All right. Not all right. All right. This time, okay. All right. It's a bit small on there. Again, you can find these slides on my Buy Me a Coffee, and these are all tentative. Okay. Note the pink and white on the left. This is tentative intentions, and it's for the first ever Story Species, Story Medicine, the Continuum of Conscious Evolution series. The focus right now is for the spring virtual conference, these are examples of content that I'm looking for. So I have to come a bit closer so I can see. Absolutely. The first one on there, you're important, how you think and feel matters. Okay. I'm going to be the keynote speaker. My focus is going to be on story species, story medicine. I'm going to talk about how when I was growing up, two angels came out of my wall. I don't have my presentation all figured out yet, but my focus is going to be reiterating why I'm putting this conference together. So, those of you who know me know I'm very passionate about the rules of the mind and how you think and feel matter. And it would be really nice if somebody else talked about that kind of stuff. So if you see stuff on here and you're like, well, Gina, you always talk about that. Who cares? I want somebody else to talk about it too. So you're important. How you think and feel matters. Rules of the mind and mind reprogramming. I'm a big fan of Marissa Peer's RTT. Now, if somebody else out there has a different modality, please, I'm interested. Akashic records, shadow work, spirit guides, protection, smoky mirrors, the biology of belief. It would be nice to have some scientist or somebody who's done research. I don't want people to be presenting who are telling their, like, day trip dreams. I want people who are authentically sharing dreams that they've had, like myself, that they believe are a bit more than just a regular dream, right? That's what I'm aiming for. I also am interested in people who have, yes, Anchor Haven, published books, authors, because if you're somebody telling a story, that's great. But if you put your name on a book and it's out there, that really elevates you as somebody who's not afraid, somebody who is fierce, somebody that's a role model. You might not realize that. A role model to a lot of other folks out there, especially to people like me, a real hero, because we all know what it's like to be made fun of. Um, so those, like anybody who's published anything or done any research about any of this kind of content, you definitely stand out. I know I'm going to have too many people asking me to present. So it's absolutely possible that this 1 day virtual event in the spring could transform into a 2-3 day event. Absolutely. No problem. So any of this stuff, the biology of belief, it would be interesting to have somebody speak to evolution, not just Darwinism, not just Lamarckism, but this business of like both of them and what's the difference and the movement of our thinking, Lamarckism, Darwinism to Lamarckism, controlled remote viewing, and building your mental martial arts. Personally, I'm a fan of controlled remote viewing. It would be interesting to have other remote viewing modalities out there as well. The reason I wanted to intentionally single out controlled remote viewing is because, unlike other remote viewing, controlled remote viewing was something that the government got involved in and funded. And it's a modality that anybody can learn it. And the writing that comes with controlled remote viewing is something like any language. If you learn it, then you can read it. And that's important. So when it comes to missing children, missing soldiers, and bringing them home, that to me is very powerful, compared to somebody else who does remote viewing or some kind of psychic work where information just randomly comes to them. Like that's fantastic. But controlled remote viewing is something that you can get trained in. All of us are psychic, and controlled remote viewing helps to bring that out. And if it's already out, it brings it out even more. So, anyways, clearly I'm a fan of CRV, reliable and sustainable resources. I don't know about you folks out there, but I'm really tired of people throwing around these ideas and that's where it ends. Like if somebody actually has an idea and a way and something that they could present that we could, maybe somebody could implement, that would be really ideal. Basically what I'm saying is I don't just want somebody to come and talk about why sovereignty is important and why we need to heal the earth. I want to talk about, like, here's a business plan that you have about housing or something like that, or how to clean the water. That's what I'm interested in. I watched years ago, I went through a phase where I was watching these people who lived in like total poverty. There was these three girls, and they were doing things like riding a bike, like just on the spot, and the bicycle would wash their clothes. It would get the washing machine going. Like stuff like that, I think would be really cool. Again, I'm just getting ahead of myself here. Herbology and home remedies, that's really important. We don't have a health care, we have a disease care. Too many folks are stressed out because their health is not in a good place. And so I don't want somebody to come to the conference and present to us about why mental health is important. This kind of audience already knows that. What's the kind of food that we can eat, right? Not something that you have to order online, but something in your local community that you can do to make at home. Those kind of recipes are important to me. I want this to be a balanced conference. Vendors who provide healing services. So, if you've written books or maybe you do Reiki or something like that, you can absolutely promote yourself. But unless you wanted to speak to the science behind what you're vending, then I don't want you to present. Know what I mean? So I want there to be a distinction between presenters and vendors. I want vendors to have the opportunity to promote themselves and to make some money. And I want to support the vendors because whatever it is they're vending, products, healing services, it's stuff that has to do with this content. And that's where I want, um, I don't know if boycotting is the right word to use, but I want it to be intentional. So if people are looking for services, then over the years, they'll build trust knowing that the vendors who are at my conference, our conference, can be trusted and there's an expectation. And then this is, again, like I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned it now in this video or the next one, but this is all part of Project 30, right? So what I'm trying to say and is trying to be trying is I don't want vendors to try and become presenters so that they can sell their product. No way. If you want to be a presenter, it's because you're explaining the science behind the energy work that you do, is what I'm saying. So there is that flexibility. New science, the ancient future, plasma, black goo, black sand, Bigfoot, the moon, all of that stuff and more I'm interested in. Super soldiers, the Great Galactic Navy, and not the guns type, AI. Now, on that note, when it comes to, I don't want to worry about people suing me, right? So, using myself as an example, if I made a statement that an ancient Egyptian goddess beat me up, okay, that might sound bizarre, but nobody's going to sue me for that, right? But if I made a statement today that somebody beat me up and they're still alive today, then that's a problem. That's defamation of character, right? So I really want to set the tone that the conference is to bring peace and to create safe space for people to share their stories. This is not an invitation to start pointing fingers and fighting at everybody. So um, I want people to be able to speak in a way that is not going to be, um, you know, jeopardizing us getting shut down and my YouTube shutting down because honestly, it's too easy. It's too easy to get reported. And so I want us to rise above. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I feel like people out there get what I'm saying. And Anchor Haven is saying, would be awesome to get John Whitberg. He has 4 books published. John Whitberg, get in touch with me. Let's do this. And she says about space programs, breakaway colonies. So yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about space programs and breakaway colonies, John Whitberg, fantastic. Just don't use somebody's real name that's still alive today, is what I'm saying. For example, Donald Trump. There's a lot of talk out there that Donald Trump has been cloned. There's lots of statements about him. I flip flop finding it interesting and whatnot, but Donald Trump is still alive today, right? So uh, again, if I made a statement about somebody who was alive a long time ago and they've been dead, then it's different, right? I'm also talking in a way to scare and turn people off because I'm working with whole energy and I really want to weed people out. Weed, 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 weed. So that other folks, we get the right folks in. And Anchor Haven is saying John Whitberg doesn't use names. Okay, that's perfect. Perfect. John Whitberg, I don't know you, but I think we're going to get along. What else do I have to show you here? I do have some more slides. Um, the Great Galactic Navy and Not the Guns type, that came up in a dream that I had. And then Not the Guns type is actually language that's being used out there. So I'm wondering other people out there who have had that come up in their dreams. Currency from the heart and the future. So interestingly, some folks out there believe that the future has no money. Money right now is an illusion. It's nice to have that currency, right? But it is an illusion. And what are we going to do when there is no more such thing as money? What are you going to use as a currency? And that's both exciting and scary. What will the future be like? What do you want it to be like? There's all kinds of theories out there. But again, if we can hope and dream and focus on peace, our oneness, reliable, sustainable resources, vegan diet, moving away from money, people, everybody has something to offer. Was his first name John Rushkin? He wrote a great book called Unto the Last. I got to read it again, but I remember when I did read it, it's just a little booklet. It was very inspiring because he had to tiptoe around a lot of what he was saying, but he was essentially saying that everybody plays a vital role in the community. And it doesn't matter if you are serving coffee or if you're cleaning toilets or if you're fighting on the front line, that everyone is of equal value because everybody has something to value. And what might seem simple for me might be complicated for somebody else. So is it really fair to pay me and that somebody else the same amount of money when it boils down to our talents and what's, manageable for us? And so when I talk about the future and the currency of the heart, I'm talking about these greater themes. I'd love to have somebody talk about the science behind things like yoga, qigong, the importance of dancing and movement, general range of motion. It would be really cool to the summer conference to have somebody teach us a dance, or even right now, like get a special dance that we all learn, a special Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective dance. And I also have really big dreams about somebody creating some kind of jazzy blues band for the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective, and that becomes our theme music. And like I said, I like to channel catfish energy, so I'm not going to be afraid to bite off more than I can chew, even if it means choking on it. If I have to choke on my dreams, if I die choking on my dreams, I want you to know that I died very happily. So I forget what it's called now, but there's also a lot of strong beliefs about things like dragons and dragons being fossilized mountains, better known as mountains and rocks and hills. A lot of folks out there believe that those are remnants of dragons. And is it feng shui? Folks out there believe if you put crystals, like if you have a house, then you put certain crystals in certain corners to create a certain energy field. That kind of stuff would be fascinating for somebody to speak about that. The ET agenda, I feel like I'm open up a can of worms with that one, but I want to hear it all. And I'm fully aware that people are going to be full of bullshit stories. And you know what? I don't even care, because even if it's a bullshit story, I believe that there's still some kind of truth in there. right? And I do believe that people tiptoe around things, and I'm not going to worry about people who, um, you know what? There's been a lot of criticism. Last year, I just breathed like a little bit of whispers about doing this, and the number of people committed to misunderstanding me, committed to brushing all of this off, committed to telling me things like nobody's going to help you. Why wouldn't they just host their own conference? Oh, you want to go live once a month and fundraise money? Well, why wouldn't people just fundraise their own money? And so I don't know about you, but I'm not focusing on those folks anymore. And this presentation is the first of me trying to really zone in on the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective. So if anything I'm saying turned you off, great. Then we know that we don't have to hate each other, but we know that you're probably not interested in this kind of stuff, right? But if you're still tuning in, then it's very likely that we're part of the same soul tribe. And what I'm saying does resonate with you. Social emotional learning and self regulation and the importance of emotional literacy, that's imperative. It's something that I'm very passionate about speaking about, but again, I would really like somebody else to talk about it. I'm also interested in firsthand experiences. I reached out to my good friend Brian to be a speaker, Brian Rue, and he sounded interested. Brian hosts a show called Preparing for ET Contact, and it was one of the first communities that I was able to engage with where I felt like finally I have community. And so I let Brian know that I'm hosting a conference and it would be fantastic for him to speak. So I don't know if he's going to speak at the spring conference or what, but it's just really cool that Brian is a part of that. I also invited Robert Khalil from the Typical Skeptic podcast, not to help me host, but to be a speaker. You know, it'd be a nice change up for Rob. But also, the Typical Skeptic podcast community was one of the first communities that I was able to engage with about all of this content. And it was during a time in my life where I didn't have anybody to talk to about Bigfoot, and all I was doing was, you know, doing my personal best YouTubing things on YouTube, and just coming across the most ridiculous videos. And then it was finally nice to be a part of a community. And so I thought it would be really cool if Brian and Rob spoke at my conference. So if anybody out there can relate to what I'm saying, or if you know a host like Brian or Rob, let them know, because community is everything that this comes down to. Community, community, community. So I got another slide to show you. Slide number 4. Let me pull it up. And I thank you so much for your patience. Oops, I don't want to leave the studio. I want to pull up slide number 4. Okay, image number 4. So if anybody's interested in being on the Dragon Dreams executive, basically everything is figured out. I just need your help to start manifesting it, helping me to make phone calls, promote, and the priority is the spring conference. So this part here is where things get rigid. Again, this is targeted for um, all the behind the scenes people. So these roles are all volunteered. I need the committee. So the executive committee, get your calendars out. The Dragon Dreams Executive Committee help plan, organize, and carry out. Meet with me, Gina, regularly. Friday meetings, 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. Eastern. I figure we meet weekly, figure our shit out, and then we can tone it down, meeting bi-weekly, even monthly. And the Dragon Dreams Executive Committee will be the ones to um, let you know when we're ready for the subcommittee. The subcommittee will help out with events and experiences alike. The executive committee will have our first meeting. I thought I wrote it down here. I have a date somewhere written down. It is in February. Um, so if you're interested, please keep tuning in. I do have that, and make sure you're following me on Buy Me a Coffee. I'm taking a leap of faith here that I'm not going to spoon feed everybody, and that folks who are interested in leadership, I can trust and rest assured that it's fine. Okay. And I admit I'm feeling a bit scattered because the first time I logged on, I had no sound, and then um, I had to restart a whole new StreamYard. StreamYard is very user friendly, but that's one downside, is that you have to like restart all your stuff. Okay, image file, slide number 5. The rest of what I have to say is just going over some of the details for folks who are interested, and that's pretty much a wrap. Okay, presenters. This is where things get really rigid. If you're interested in presenting, I need you to honor this schedule. And this is intended to scare people away. If anybody out there has ever created a presentation, then you have to practice your presentation. And I figure it shouldn't be a problem for you to hit the record button so you can provide me with a video in advance, just in case there is a tech issue and we can't hear you or whatever, knowing that we're asking people for money for tickets, knowing that it's live. I don't, you know what, you only got a minute or two to figure out your tech issues, and then we're going to honor you as a presenter and play your video that you sent. So let me just read it here, the structure. So um, you get 5 minutes maximum where the host can welcome you. So that it doesn't have to be a full 5 minutes, but it's maximum 5 minutes. So that's your opportunity as a presenter to submit a little biography about yourself, um, whatever. It's fine. You got 5 minutes. Then you've got a nice 35 minutes maximum to do your presentation. Here's my little friendly suggestion. If you want to send a 1 minute maximum promo video, then you can do that, sending it to us in advance. So after the host introduces you, your 1 minute video starts playing. And then after the 1 minute video, boom, there you are on the stage. You don't have to do the 1 minute video thing. I just thought it was a neat idea. If you do the 1 minute video thing, then respectfully, you're down to a 34-minute presentation. Now, I don't want to overthink 34 minutes, 35 minutes, but 35 is the maximum. You don't get 36, you don't get 35 in 1 second. So I have a lot of experience facilitating. Knowing you get the maximum 35, I would aim for like a maximum 28 to 30 minute presentation, right? You don't want to worry about breathing time and that kind of stuff. If you're an amateur and you've never ever presented before, I'm more than happy to have you as a presenter. This is the structure that you need to honor and follow. I also want to honor we're going to have a break in between presenters, and it's going to be one after another. So I want this to be an exciting thing. And I want to set us all up for success, which is why I'm taking the time to tell you all of this. So after your 35-minute presentation, and for what it's worth, if your presentation is only 15 to 20 minutes long, that's okay. But I think it's healthy that it would be like a minimum of 20 minutes, 15 I feel like is too short. So after your presentation, it would be nice to have 10 minutes of Q&A. That translates into maybe, one question with a follow-up question. So maybe 2 or 3 questions at the most. And then after the Q&A, you get to have 5 minutes of just you and the host chatting, and the host thanking you, reiterating any information about you. So if you're a presenter and you run a business, that's your chance to talk about that, reiterate your website where folks can find you. It might be fun to engage in the audience chat. I don't know, I don't care, but that's your time. And I wanted to provide this structure so we don't forget. How many of us do things, and then we go live, we make presentations, and then, oh yeah, I forgot this, I forgot that. So this structure is very important to me. I was a teacher for 20 years, okay? The shape of the day is vital. And if we don't stay, with the shape of the day, then we have to reflect on why we're not staying on the shape of the day. So it's really important for me that we have that time, and yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. So I'm really excited. Okay, now I'm going to show you my next um, image, which is image number 6. Again, these images you can find on my Buy Me a Coffee. And those of you interested in meeting with us, the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Executive Committee, we would have meetings on Zoom, and I would provide an agenda in advance so you know what to expect, and the agenda would always carry over. So there's always intention. When I was the Joint District Professional Development Chair for the Langley School District, I attended executive meetings, and it was awesome because an agenda was provided to us. But then when I had my own subcommittee meetings, I provided the agenda. So I have experience doing that. And it's a routine that I must insist on because it really helped us stay organized. So, talent and entertainers, 15 minutes per 20-minute break. So, between each presenter, there's going to be a 20-minute break. I don't think it's a good idea to give you the full 20 minutes because we're going to need, a little few minutes, right? So you get 15 minutes of the 20-minute break. So I figure um, we're not going to have a lunch break. We're just going to have 20-minute breaks in between. People can, have a quick bathroom break, get themselves a fresh cup of coffee or whatever. Then we're going to have the entertainment. And I put talent/entertainment because all entertainment is welcome. So if you're a comedian, that would be awesome. Um, if you're a dancer, I love feminine expression. I'm all about the booty. I love it. And I would adore if there was a mix of all kinds of variety. Maybe somebody sings, plays the guitar. It really doesn't have to be over the top. Maybe you do a puppet show. I'm open to everything and anything because this is your soul tribe. So if it's something that you do and you think, oh, I don't know if people are going to like that, I bet we will. And you'd be surprised how much talent is out there. So this is the structure for volunteers who are interested in showcasing their talent, entertaining for us. So the host is going to take 3 minutes maximum to introduce you, and then you're going to have 9 minutes to actually do whatever it is you do. So I know people who are experienced with performing, that is very important information to you because you need to find a song or whatever and figure that out. I made a suggestion here if you wanted to make a 1-minute promo video. So basically, the host would take 3 minutes maximum to introduce you, play your 1-minute promo video, and then you get to perform. But that would come out of your 9 minutes. You would have 8 minutes. So I'm indifferent. I just need to know when we get closer what you're doing. And I also need to know right away what time slot you want, which I'll show you after this here. So after you perform, it's important to me that the host engages with you a little bit, making sure that the host is spending a good 3 minutes thanking you, reiterating your website or whatever it is. And then basically, there's just going to be a few minutes left until the next presenter. So I don't know who's hosting this event yet. I imagine it will be somebody on the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Executive Committee. I don't want to host this. I forgot to mention that. I don't want to host this. I want to lead from behind. It's not my intention to be in the spotlight. So I want this to be a community thing, and my role would be more of an administrative role. So There's lots of opportunity here to get involved. So the host will then just continue, chatting with the audience, and then before you know it, we're on to the next presenter. So I need presenters for that, but I also need somebody. I'd like to have an opening and closing ceremony, and I figure might as well have the same person for both of those. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. Somebody expressed an interest in providing um, sounding healing bowls. I really like that idea, and it would be really cool um, just before the whole day starts, that it starts with singing bowls. I don't have it all figured out yet. This is all tentative. Um, all forms of entertainment welcomed, like I said. So if you have enough time to dance to 2 or 3 songs, all the power to you. I don't care. Just making sure that we're honoring the time limit. Okay, what's my next slide here for you? Slide number 7. Okay, slide number 7. What is this slide about? Vendors. Okay, so I'm going to need virtual vendors and in-person vendors. The in-person vendors, that's going to be a July thing in the summertime. So the virtual vendors for the spring, very, very important. Vendors, be prepared to present, showcase live, and to submit a pre-recorded 1-minute maximum video promo in advance, in addition to a 9-minute video in advance of you showcasing your product in case tech issues. So the big idea with the virtual vendors is that in a perfect world and there's no tech issues, you get your 1 minute, so you get a promo video. It can't be any longer than 1 minute. You have to create it. You send it to me. So we play your 1-minute promo video, and then you get 9 minutes of, hi, my name is, this is my product. Maybe you sell candles and you want to show us your candles and tell us about the different scents and that kind of stuff. All the power to you. But let's say you're having tech issues, then we're not in a position to wait, unfortunately. So in that unlikely scenario, the 9-minute video is, I'm willing to play that for you. So that's very important. And then the 1-minute promo video will be used to introduce you. Like I said, you'll have a chance to speak, and then there'll be a little bit of time to engage with the host, and then that's it. The 1-minute promo video only will be played at the end of the day. So at the end of the conference, I'm going to, and I'm also going to, the 1-minute promo videos are going to be on a special playlist on my YouTube. So those videos are just going to be there. So it's going to be advertising, easy for you to share, and it's going to be easy for me to access as well. So I didn't include it in this slide, but before the conference starts, like the conference is going to start at 9 a.m. I thought it would be fun at 8 a.m. to do like just hanging out with the vendors, maybe watching the 1-minute promo videos again. The night before, I thought it would be it would be nice to have the vendors live, hanging out with the host, just promoting the conference tomorrow, creating hype. And then, it's possible we could play those 1-minute videos again. So there's a lot of potential, is what I'm saying, for you to play your 1-minute videos. And when the Dragon Dreams executive and I are advertising, well, guess what? It's going to be your video link. I could even, because like I said, I'm creating a special playlist on my YouTube, and YouTube allows you to share the entire playlist link. So we could do stuff like that. And other people have different platforms and networking opportunities. No promises, but I know that some people out there, they have podcasts, so they could, maybe people wouldn't be able to watch your video, but they could hear your video, the audio of it. So it's a real win-win situation. What I'm going to be charging a fee for the live airtime that you're going to be taking during the conference. And then as a bonus, playing your video at the end is a bonus to you, also to show appreciation. And then all this extra stuff that I'm talking about is also bonus sharing appreciation with you, because the intention of the vendors is for the vendors to promote products that have to do with all the stuff that we believe in. And it's an opportunity, respectfully, for the vendors to make some money. So I want the vendors um, not to be shy about letting us know, like, what do you sell? How much does it cost? Where can we find your products? Do you have annual deals going on? Like set that all up. That's a lot of information to cover. So in your 1 minute promo video, that's ideal. Very, very ideal to get all your information in there. And then the 9 minutes that you spend chatting is really more about you connecting and highlighting some of your favorite products. And at the in-person conference, it's going to be really fun because I'm going to be walking around, trying your products and whatnot, and really helping to promote. I have lots of ideas for the summer conference. Okay, what else do I want to show you? Let's go to slide number 8. Okay, so this is what I was just talking about. I figured the night before it would be fun. Join us the eve before live with the vendors. So yeah, come hang out with us, connect with the chat. Each vendor can have 15 minutes maximum. That makes 4 vendors an hour. And this is all bonus. And I figure I could put a start time on it, and then we just keep going until the last vendor video plays. Again, there's more details to come. This is just to create some hype and call out for the executive. If you're interested in leadership, then it's very natural in your head to be thinking things like, oh, I have a suggestion, she should do this, or no, Gina, don't do that, that's not a good idea. Like, if those thoughts are going through your mind, please reach out to me. I'm just catching up on Anchor Haven's comments. She's talking back to John Whitberg. Off-world colonies apparently use DNA as currency. Oh, hair strands. Wow. Yeah. And you know what? That doesn't surprise me. Like I said, when it comes to currency, it sounds exciting to do away with money, but then it's like, well, what else is currency? DNA. Sex has been currency for a long time, right? So those are important conversations. She says, I have messaged you a video I did with Mei Chung about East Asian medicine. Cool. Thanks, Anchor Haven. I look forward to reading that. So let's set this agenda in stone as soon as possible. We can always do a 2-3 day event. Right now, I'm aiming for a 1-day event online and the evening before hanging out. So I really hope that you dream with me. Let me check image number 8. Whoops, that's the same image. Image number 9. And like I said, if you've never been part of a committee before, you don't have any experience, this very well could be your opportunity. I don't care if you don't have any experience. If wherever there's a will, there's a way. And if you have a willingness to learn and you have some experience with Canva, this could be a whole new future for you with the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe committee. Somebody out there's going to make a ballet. It might be uh, book 8, An Elephant's Anthem of Liberation, but one of these books, there's 8 of them, one of these books talks about how somebody makes a ballet out of the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective. I don't know who you are. Let me know who you are, and please send me a ticket. Okay, I want to come and see it. So this is the agenda. We start promptly at 9 until 10:30. The conference begins with some healing sound bowls and or some drumming. It's just going to be like a little 2-3 minute. Then officially we'll welcome you, open up some sacred space, 20-minute sound healing bowl. I'm going to be the keynote speaker, presenter number 1, and I'm going to speak to story, species, story, medicine. Now, my speech is going to change a little bit each conference, just to keep it fresh, but ultimately it's going to be the same theme. And so again, if you're passionate like I am about the rules of the mind and hypnotherapy, please don't assume that I'm going to be talking about that stuff. I want you to talk about that stuff, other people. Okay. Um, even me, I have a structure that needs to be honored, and I definitely want to give the host a good 5 minutes before the break to reiterate any information, because I don't know about you, but like every conference workshop, there's always like some kind of FYI. And so I want everybody to know out there that we will have a little FYI. It's plugged into the schedule. So at any random reason, you can be rested assured. The rest of my slides, they don't really matter to show you. Um, I'll show you the next one. Slide number 10. Dun, 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 dun. Can only share so many slides. Okay, well, let me remove this then. Okay, slide number 10 is coming up. Okay. Here's slide number 10, and look, we already have a presenter. Presenter number 2, Michael Kopp, from 10:50 a.m. until 11:50 a.m. And so Michael too, I already let him know. Michael got excited. That's what I mean. People start talking, they get excited, and I was like, I'd love to have you, Michael, but I have a structure. And then he messaged me back, and he's like, okay, I'm going to put together a 35-minute presentation. I was like, all right. I was worried, honestly, Michael. I was worried that you're going to be like, what structure? I don't want that. But he was like, Michael was totally on board with it. So Michael is an ongoing, continuing guest on Story Species, Story Medicine. And what I really appreciate about Michael is he puts that social emotional first, very relatable. And if you're thinking, oh, well, I'm an author too, and she already has Michael on there, like, please reach out to me. I want everyone, okay? The schedule, all of my other slides look the same, except it says presenter 3, presenter 4, and all the break entertainment is to be determined, TBD. And I really would like to set this schedule in stone. So if you join the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Executive Committee, then basically we're going to look at these slides together over Zoom, not over StreamYard, over Zoom. And I'm going to be creating an agenda. I want your ideas. And I want you, if you're not on the committee, I'm not interested in your feedback. But if you are on the committee and you give me some constructive feedback, you provide ideas, or you're like, Gina, straight up, that is not going to work, or I am open to your ideas. I do have my own experience behind me. I'm not a my way or the highway person, and I'm open to what's going to be working for everyone. I already have a Facebook group established. I've got all the time dates established. Everything is basically established. It's just a matter of things taking flight. Something that you might be interested in is the final slide. because I have closing ceremony type notes in there. Final slide number 14, adding it to the stage. So, so the last presenter number 6, will present 4:10 to 5:10. So you have an hour, but remember, you only have 35 minutes to present. Then there's like, the host introducing you. Then there's that 10-minute QA. Then there's the host thanking you. So you get 35 minutes tops. And like the 6 presenters, I feel like I already have 6 presenters. So again, it's absolutely no problem for the virtual event to transform into a 2-3 day event. And that would be ideal for vendors, because if I don't get a lot of vendors, then I'm going to replay all those videos. And if I have lots of vendors, then you know what, maybe I'll have a tiered system or something like that, pay more money to showcase every 3 days. I don't know. I am open. Okay. The good news is, because this is going to be the first ever Story Species Story Medicine Continuum of Conscious Evolution conference series. By the way, I'm aware it's a really long name. So my intention is, like, when people say the conference, they know we're talking about this one, right? So I didn't care that it had a long name. And actually, the name was even longer because it had re-education in there. And then I took it out. But anyways, the conference has lots to look forward to. And it's really important that we create a lot of hype for the first one, because the first one is going to be affordable. All of them are going to be affordable, but the first one's going to be extra affordable so we can get more people involved. It's going to be extra affordable because it's going to be our first one. And people who are vending in that kind of stuff, it's a great opportunity for you, because it's very possible, even if you're a presenter, that this might be a bit too last minute for some people out there. And then it works in your favor because you're already ready. And so that opportunity, for example, about meeting with the vendors the night before, that could really work in your favor. Hanging out with the vendors before the conference, that could also very much work in your favor, because the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective is quite the iconic group. And the word is spreading about the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective, especially with all of the hoping and dreaming that we need to be doing. If you look at this 5:10 to 6, this is where we're going to formally thank everybody. There's going to be a closing ceremony. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I thought, like, the evening before, when we're all hanging out with the vendors, that maybe folks would like to have a candle that they carve into or something like that. And then the next morning, when the conference starts, we could all take our special candles and light our candles together, something like that. And then the candles burning all day. Spirit of the conference, the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective, the name of my business, Gina Virginia Casella, and then it's like an umbrella term. It's like an egregore. It's a spirit that's out there. And so when I say that, the spirit of the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective, it's like, woo, I get little goosebumps that just kind of wash through me, right through my stomach. Usually I get goosebumps on my arms, but it's like my stomach, my heart, it's just this like unfolding forward vibration that I get. Like the spirit of the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective is listening, and it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So I'm excited. And then anyways, when we close the ceremony, I thought it would be nice to have a moment where, people optionally leave their candle burning all day. Maybe some people, their candle wouldn't have lasted that long. It might be fun throughout the conference to remind Dragon Dreamers to hug their candles so that it burns properly. I know I've carved into candles, and then I like to roll it in my ashes from the incense. It looks really cool. I did notice though that it really doesn't burn well, but if you are tentative, then it's helpful. So that could be something fun that's ongoing. And just a little tip to reminder, if you're working with spirit, working with the biology of belief, a lot of folks out there believe that um, it's not a good practice to blow out your candle because it's like blowing out the spirit, blowing out the energy. Whether that's true or not is inconsequential. What's important is that we're working with the biology of belief. And if you're comfortable, when it's time to put the candle out, you mindfully just let it burn until it burns out on its own, or you snuff it out. So you put it in water, or you just some people they'll put their hands in water and then just snuff it. Or if you have one of those snuffers, um, I have my I have it here, my nail file. You can see here I usually just scooch the wick over to the side and snuff it out, and then I'm like fixing the wick for next time. So anyways, I thought that might be nice, and we can do some fire ceremony. Fire ceremony, I'm a big fan of that. Um, so in order to fundraise for all of this, let me remove myself from the screen. Um, so in order to fundraise for this, there we go. So in order to fundraise for this, it starts with me making movies. So I'm going to be going live the last Friday of each month. And so January 30th, I will create the link and send it the morning of. Okay, maybe I'll do it the night before, but those of you who know me, I post everything the morning of, the day of on Buy Me a Coffee, because I myself tend to get link overloaded. I personally don't like, a week reminder, 48-hour reminder, 24-hour reminder, just the day of is when I post the link. So that's another good reason to follow me on Buy Me a Coffee. Another good reason to hit the notification button on YouTube. So I will be providing my one of a kind mini gemstone readings. And if you noticed during the conference, I'm not going to be offering my services or my mini gemstone reading, because those services are available all of the time to you. You can go on to Buy Me a Coffee right now, check out my membership and what I offer. I'm a transformational healer. I do medicine energy practitioner work. I was trained, graduated from the Four Winds, and I also do mind reprogramming. Those of you who book private sessions with me have the luxury of picking and choosing services. So, for example, if you wanted to spend an entire private session with me doing a gemstone reading, we can do that. I'm really passionate about my work, passionate about soul retrieval. Something I didn't know was, a lot of souls, they don't want to come back. So what do you do? What does that mean? Well, it means that you have homework to do. So if you wanted to book a session with me, typically the clientele that I service requires an easy 3 months to 24 months commitment, consecutive commitment. And I can absolutely help you make change with anything, 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 anything. So I wanted to make that clear as well, that um, my role with the conference is an administrative role. So and I'd really like to have an executive committee to help me carry this forward. I would like to have somebody on the executive committee host to help welcome people. And for what it's worth, uh, all of the big thinking and planning is already done. Um, it's just a matter of advertising this. And so just thinking if there's something else that I needed to say, but I don't think there is. If the conference ends up being 2 or 3 days and there's space for me to do a gemstone reading or something like that, then I can do that. I actually thought I might do for an opening ceremony, I might do a gemstone reading, but then I thought, no, I want to be the keynote speaker. So um, let me know what you're thinking. Again, this video, those of you who might just be tuning in now, is targeted for those who are interested in leadership. This is a call out for leadership. So this video, if you're just catching me now live, please rewatch the video. I go over the slides, which you can find on my Buy Me a Coffee. All the information is there. How can you help me out? Well, I need help making Canva posters. I need help looking over things like grammar, um, putting advertisements out there. Come this summer, if we have a conference, that's going to be a big one. Mostly, my biggest concern about the in-person conference is renting a bus and making sure everybody stays together. And I feel like if that's my biggest concern, that's pretty good concern, right? It's pretty good concern. And I do tend to get ahead of myself. So if you felt confused at all listening to me today, well, that just means you're on track, because getting lost is how we get found. So in conclusion, watch this video again. If you're interested in joining the executive committee, just give me a moment to check my calendar, because I thought I had it in the presentation. Maybe I did and the font was just too small, but Friday, February 6th. So today is January 12th. Friday, February 6th is when we meet. And if you're watching this video and you're like, oh no, I really want to be a part of her committee, but I didn't get that information, and oh, now I can't be on her committee. Well, if that's your attitude, I don't want you on my committee. Somebody who's going to be successful on my committee is going to say something like, oh, what? I didn't get that information. Oh, I know what to do. Google Gina Virginia Casella. You will find me. Okay. GinaVirginiaCasella.com. So I'm very easy to find. I'm easy to find on Buy Me a Coffee, GinaVirginiaCasella.com. I've got a website, and this presentation is created in such a way so that everybody has an opportunity to participate, and vendors have an opportunity to make some money. And I want to honor the vendors, giving them some airtime. And it would be really cool too, just like promoting in general. Like I was mentioning earlier, vendors who provide a 1-minute promo video, like when we're promoting the conference, we attach the links to your promo video. I can attach a link to the entire playlist that your video is going to be on. And even in a situation like this, we can go live every day highlighting a presenter, highlighting an entertainer. And what do we do at the end? We play a 1-minute promo video. And I would be more than happy, because I like to be organized, creating a schedule for which vendors will be highlighted and whatnot. I'm really excited. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And we can't wait. So if anybody has any questions about any of the information I said, I want to remind you that it is tentative. This is just planning talk. All those dates and times are not set in stone. And if you look at every single slide, it states that. Okay. So I would absolutely adore if you joined the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective Executive Committee. You get to meet with me every Friday, 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. And the last Friday every month, I'll be Alex Lipton is going to be hosting me. Julia Anchorhaven, she'll be in the chat, hanging out with you. And me, I'll be busy doing my one-of-a-kind gemstone reading, complemented by the Dragon Dreams Oracle. I'm so excited about this. And It's a good thing I'm editing this because I skipped a card. There's one card in here 2 times. um, so I can't wait to let you to know when that's available. And we're going to be making, with the money that I raise, I'm going to be transforming these books into a movie series. And it's really just a matter of finding the right artificial intelligence. I mean, you cut and paste the content in there, play around with the images. There's supposed to be a variety of different images, and the Dragon Dreams executive committee, they would help with that too. So the EC, the executive committee, would help out with everything, like the movies being made, Dreaming with Gemstone Gina monthly conference. Like if you want to be there and be present in the chat to say hi to people to help build community. Alex and I were chatting the other day. It would be nice if we started a routine, because this is new, right? But like every Friday before we start Dreaming with Gemstone, not every Friday, every last Friday of the month before we start Dreaming with Gemstone Gina, we say hi and welcome people. That would be an ideal opportunity for the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective Executive Committee to have a presence, to introduce you, to reiterate what we're doing. Like right now, it's just me talking, right? But it would be nice to be like, here's our agenda. This is set in stone. Here's the link. This is what it costs. See you there. That's my intention, right? And I can't wait. It's going to be fantastic. I played around with the artificial intelligence. I don't remember the name of the program. I tried multiple programs, and it basically cost a few $100s for a few minutes. I was absolutely shocked. And still, like, what I did create wasn't even, and it took me a long time to do what I did. I'm sure experience will come, but the good news is it's been literally like more than a year now. So I'm sure there's better AI that can help out, and folks out there have more experience. So money raised is going to help to pay for the AI program. And the whole point that I wanted to make is that all of my content goes together, including the conference. Like the conference is part of my book series. It's in here about us getting together. And I don't know who, but somebody out there creates a ballet. I think that's the coolest thing. Somebody out there creates a ballet about the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective. I think it's going to be awesome, right? I think it's in this book. Um, so if you have any questions, I'm open. Maybe you don't want to be on the Dragon Dreams executive, but you have like a really, really great idea, or you're like, Gina, I don't want to be on the executive, but I want to donate this or whatever. Like, please reach out to me. And hopefully sooner than later, I'm going to have a special thing on my website, ginavirginiacasella.com, introducing the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Executive Committee. And then at some point, there's going to be the subcommittee as well. So there's lots to look forward to. And in closing, going back to entertainers and folks out there who are talent, like, if you have a dance studio and you're looking to advertise, this is a phenomenal opportunity, right? And I love feminine expression. It may be, I'm just getting excited now, but like any kind of entertainment, comedians playing the piano, any kind of entertainment or talent. Maybe you do fire dancing, would love to see that. It would be really cool. It would be really so. Um, I can't help it. My mind is really buzzing right now. So, all right. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you for your patience. To be honest, I was feeling very, very nauseous before signing on, and then when I did sign on, I didn't have any volume, and then I had to re-sign on. There was like a good half an hour delay. Um, So I really appreciate those who took the time to tune in again and um, find this new link, which is in my Buy Me a Coffee. And I really appreciate everybody who's taken an interest in the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective, we have the Buy Me a Coffee, like I mentioned, and it's free to follow. So you want to follow me on BMAC so that you just default to getting the emails and anything that I'm hosting. I always post the link there the day of. So if somebody's hosting me, I can't control when they give me the link, which is another reason why you want to hit the notifications on YouTube. And also, please subscribe to my YouTube. I want to lovingly invite you to do that right here, right now. Hit the subscribe button, because when we go live the last Friday of the month for Dreaming with Gemstone Gina Monthly Marathon, the fundraising is going to be done through my Buy Me a Coffee. Well, what's up with that? Well, I'm not popular enough on YouTube, so YouTube won't let me do the super chat thing. That's why. So if I can get enough subscribers, then we can do the super chat thing, and then that might open the door. More people perhaps might feel comfortable donating on YouTube instead of Buy Me a Coffee. On that note, please don't donate in advance. Unless you want to just donate money for the sheer sake of donating money, I greatly appreciate that. Sometimes that's always a nice surprise. I just see these random like donations. I really appreciate that. Always tickles my heart. And all communication for the conference will be going through Buy Me a Coffee. I think it's going to be easy if I just send you a link. Like I'll get your email and then send you an email invite. And then it's a free membership basically. And there's also the Facebook group as well. There's always lots to look forward to. Anyways, if you're feeling overwhelmed, that's a good sign, because like I said, there's a lot of information, and I look forward to working with the Dragon Dreams executive to help simplify all of this. And the next time I see you, I hope to have somebody else with me to introduce you to. And I also hope to have a schedule and a date and time set in place, along with more details set in stone about vendors and what that's going to look like and sound like, what tickets are going to cost to attend, if there will be opportunity to purchase the replay, and bonuses as well for the vendors. So I might even put something on my website to for vendors. Maybe like each vendor could have like their picture and one link, something like that. I don't know. I'm open. All right. If you're really pumped up to be a vendor, just let me know and I'll make a note of your name. If you're really pumped up to be involved in any way, shape, or form, reach out so I can note your name and I will be in touch with you. My priority right now is the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective Executive Committee, the DDEC, the Dragon Dreams Executive Committee. So another acronym for you. Okay, I'm going to log off. What I will do is quickly share my link. So if you're digging StreamYard, you can save some money. I also want to put my website, ginavirginiacasella.com, in the chat. And I will just quickly now find you my Buy Me a Coffee. If you go under post, here we go. You can learn all about my memberships. It'll just take you to the main page and you'll see at the top membership posts that I've made. So you just click there and it's fine. So hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. My name is Gina Virginia Casella, and if you haven't booked your private session with me yet, please do. It really can change your thinking to change your life. And this is going to be an incredible experience. And you know what? For what it's worth, if you were one of those people that sent me a nasty message recently or even a year ago about this, and now you're regretting it, because clearly this is something cool to be a part of. Um, it's all good. It's all water under the bridge, and let's unite, just like in our dreams, bridging the dream world with the waking world all through dreams, half remembered and half misunderstood. All right. Hope you have a wonderful day, dragons. Gina Virginia Casella here, your Dragon Dreamer star symboling. And I can't wait for all the memories that we're going to make and laughs that we're going to have. And there's just so much to say. So much to say. This is why we need to get together. There's too much to say. So, all right. Talk to you later, Dragon Dreamers. I'm having a hard time letting you go. Okay. I'm going to let you go now officially. So thank you so much for your time, and take care. Here's my little video. It's more than a minute. But it's not to vend. It's just my little outro video. So it's just kind of funny because, like I said, I get ahead of myself. But like um, this right here, what I'm doing is all volunteer. But I do offer paid services. I'm a hypnotherapist. I do rapid transformational therapy, hypnotherapy, and I also do energy medicine work. And like I mentioned earlier, if you book a private with me, then you have the luxury of switching around services. For example, if you want to just spend the whole hour with me doing a gemstone reading or engaging in the soul retrieval process, cord cutting process, we can do that. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, you don't know this service or that service, you don't have to worry about it. You just book your private session with me. It's that simple. I do some energy testing on you, some story medicine, and we take it from there. So here's my outro video, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care, Dragon Dreamers. Bye for now.